All right. We're going to be talking about dividing by monomials. All right, so before I start with this, I wanted to kind of go back and, I always talk about how concepts are all the same. The looks of it is different, but the concept is exactly the same. So, before we would do, since we're dividing by monomials, we're essentially, doing fractions, right? So one of the things that we did way back when did something like this. We did 1/2 plus a 3/4, right? So the first thing you said was, well, we need common denominators, right? So what we did was we said, okay, the common denominator is 4, so we got to multiply this 2 by 2, and since we did it to the denominator, we got to do it to the numerator. So now I have a 2/4 plus a 3/4. And what you did was you say, okay, I keep the bottom, and I add or subtract the top. I'll just do this as an intermediate step before you got to the 5/4. So the part that I want to show you is this piece right here. I want you guys to realize that these two here is essentially what we're going to be talking about. So before we moved in this direction, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to move in this direction, okay? Notice how the denominator, the common denominator, gets brought together. I should do it this way instead. Notice how the common denominator just gets split up as we are able to split this part up as well, okay? So, but it's still addition because that's the sign that's in the middle here, okay? So we're still gonna do exactly that, all right, when we're dividing by a monomial. And then after that, after we split them up to separate fractions, we're gonna reduce them like the beginning of talking about exponents, okay? So let's do a couple examples to see what that looks like, all right? So let's go over here. Let's start with an example right away. Let's say we're just gonna do a monomial divided by a monomial. So 18x to the 16th y to the 5th over 9x squared y squared, okay? So there's a monomial divided by monomial. It has nothing to do with this right now. This is later on. So let's say we're going to get something like this as one of the terms. All right. So let's say from here, what do we do? Well, typically what we do is we focus on just the number and do something with that, while we focus on just the x's and decide what we want to do with that. And then we're also going to focus on just the y's and figure out what we want to do with that piece. Okay. So if we look at the 18 and the 9, that reduces. So that's going to be, so I'm just going to write that fraction there anyways. Actually, I probably shouldn't use red. Let's go back to this. So I'm still going to write that fraction. So the top, we're going to reduce 18 and 9. 9 goes into both, so I have 2 left. That's why I was using red. Yeah. Okay. Over 1. And then if you look at the x's, right, I got 16 x's on top, 2 x's on the bottom. 2 of them cancel out. How many x's do I have left? And is it on the top or the bottom? I have 14 x's left on top, okay, because there's more x's on top, right? So if it cancels out, that means the bottom is going to run out faster than the top. So therefore, I got 14 left on the top. I got 5 y's on top. I got 2 y's on the bottom. 2 of them get canceled out. How many y's do I have left, and where are they? Well, the bottom, again, is going to run out again, right? A lot faster than the top. So I'm going to have y to the 3rd left. Okay, so I got that over 1. Do I really need to put over 1? No. So this is really equal to 2x to the 14th y cubed, and that would be my answer. All right. So What else are we going to see? All right, so let's see here. So they might give it to you horizontally. If they give it to you horizontally, what should I do? So let's take, for example, this one. It says 40 x to the 7th minus 40 x to the 5th minus 24 x squared divided by negative 8x squared. So this is a horizontal look to it. How would I do it as a vertical look? So the way I would do it as a vertical look would be 40x to the 7th minus 40x to the 5th minus 24x squared all over negative 8x squared. So you might see it either way. Okay, either way you might see it all horizontal, or you might see it as a fraction form. Okay, so either way we do this, just let me do this right here, make this red. All right, either way we do this, this is what's gonna. Okay, either way we do this, this is what we do next. So remember what I said to you here. We're going to go backwards, right? We're going to basically put the denominator in each term and then keep each term separated. So it's going to look something like this. So it's going to be 40 x to the 7th over negative 8x squared. And then we're going to have plus negative 40 x to the 5th over negative 8x squared plus a negative 24x squared over negative 8x squared. Okay, so now we have basically three individual terms that we have to, or individual fractions that we have to kind of reduce on its own. So it's like we're going to have three of these together. Okay, so don't look at the other two, just look at the very first one and say, okay, spawn, I'm going to have a negative, right? All right. So what do I have? So I'll just do this just so that we can see. So look at the 40 and the 8. 8 goes into both. How many times? 5 times. Okay. 8 goes to 8 once. 8 goes into 40 5 times. And then I got x to the 7th and x to the x squared. So I got 7 x's on top, 2 x's on the bottom. 2 of them cancel out. What do I have left? And in case if you guys are wondering when I say that, what do I mean? So if I have x to the 7th over x squared, then I have the top, x to the 7th means x times x times x times x times x times x times x, 2, 4, 6, 7, over x squared means x times x. So what happens? I got x over x, and that is equal to 1. And then x over x, and that's equal to 1. So I got 7 x's on the bottom, 2 x's on the bottom. I'm sorry. I got 7 x's on top, 2 x's on the bottom. 2 of them cancel out. What do I have left? I have 5 left on top. And that's how I get this right here. Okay? So that is what I'm talking about when I do that. All right? So let's use the same example on the next one. So I say plus. Now, negative over negative, spawn, same signs, positive. So this is going to be positive. Same thing, I got 40 and 8. So I know there's going to be a 5 left on top. I got x to the 5th over x squared. So 5 x's on top, 2 x's on the bottom. 2 of them cancel out. How many do I have left? I have 3 left on top. And then plus, same thing, negative 24, negative 8, spawn. That's going to give me a positive number, so I will keep that plus sign there. What goes into 24 and 8? 8 does. 8 goes into 8 once and goes into 24 3 times. And then I got x squared over x squared. They kind of cancel each other out, so I'm done. So my answer actually is just the top, negative 5x to the 5th plus 5x to the 3rd plus 3. That means I didn't need any of the bottom because there's no remaining on the bottom. All right. Now, if it comes out to be a fraction, then leave it as a fraction. Don't worry about trying to make it any different. All right. All right. I think this is it. I hope that this helps you. If you have any questions, you know how to get hold of me.